This is my testimony. Breathe. Just breathe. Inhale. Together we rise. Exhale into golden consciousness. Awareness. Wisdom and love. Breathe. I am a walking testimony.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Exhale. The alchemy of transformation. This is energy transmutation. Breathe. The inner art of change. Breathe. To be the change you want to see. The alchemy of transformation. Inhale. Exhale. This is my testimony. Just breathe. Breathe. The alchemy within.
Greetings, greetings. Okay, so whether you come now or later, just be sweet about it. This is Friday night, and this is episode 7 of Together We Rise with me, Akshita. All right. So I just want to say greetings to everybody, and whatever the kinks are will be cleared up soon. And so here we go. And so this is my testimony. I just wanted to come on and share my story on this episode. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit, tonight, because I've been doing a lot of lessons and things like that, getting into self. And so it wouldn't be right after all of that if I don't talk about myself, right? And so here I am tonight to speak on behalf of me. And so this is my story. This is my song. I'm praising my Savior all the day long, okay? So I give honor and I give thanks for the ability to be here and to have the energy after the day that I have had to come on. I've been excited about it. So, and I didn't even prepare to get ready or anything, because I kind of feel like when you prepare for something like this, it just kind of goes crazy. So how can you prepare to tell what's true? You don't need no preparation for the truth. So I just want to give a shout out to the passengers that I've had the pleasure and opportunity to transport from one location to another. And so I always tell them thank you for requesting, because they could have chose any other service, but they chose a service in which I was called. And so yesterday I met a lady named Mary, and when she got in the car, she was like, wait a minute, did I get 2 rides or something? And so, greetings, Tracy. She was like, did I get 2 rides? And I was like, I don't know. Thank you for joining. I was like, I don't know. I was like, well, sometimes the medical transport won't get here in time, so they will order a lift for the passengers. And she was like, so I was like, you are going to this, and this address, right? And she was like, yeah, that's where I'm going. She was like, okay, well, I'll stay in the car. And so we getting up the road. And so she starts, we start communicating and talking, and she's asking me questions about me and things like that. And I just really felt led to share with her, my story. And I, explained to her, I was telling her about my breast cancer and my daughter, and both my daughters, and just how it even came about that they got here, you know what I'm saying, under the circumstances in which they got here. And she was back there like, oh my gosh, she was like, I'm so glad I stayed in this car with you. She said, because you have blessed my life. She said, I'm going to go in the house and cry. She said, and I'm going to be thinking about you. And she just stopped at that moment and started praying, like right there, prayed for me, my daughters, our situation. And it was such a beautiful that video that I shared as a real me crying. That was my tears after she got out of the car. She hugged me and everything, and she was like, you have such a beautiful spirit. She was just so uplifting and so encouraging. And so I seem to always get people who connect with me in that manner on a spiritual level of connection. And it is so beautiful. Like you, Tracy, you know what I'm saying? You are another one that I deal with on a regular basis. I see and we communicate, back and forth, and we always have encouragement for one another. We always have upliftment for one another. And if it ain't that, it ain't got nothing to do with what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it is. So she chose to stay in the car with me, and I'm so grateful that she did. And so she helped me to see that I am a vessel to be, oh wait, hold on, because I took some notes, right? Because I had to remember, I didn't want what I'm finna say to slip my mind because of time, and everything else that done happened today, because it has been crazy. But nonetheless, right, she was in the car, we was on long ride home, and she helped me to see that I am a vessel of light pouring through the cracks created through life as trials and tribulations. And saying that, I was under the impression, when after you've been broken, you experience, a refining, and you are refreshed and refined, right? And I love you too, Tracy. And so there's no more cracks. And I said, yeah, there's no more cracks. And when after you allow Jesus as your savior in your life, and you moving forward from there. She was like, no. She was like, those cracks allow God's light to shine through. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, she showed right about that. See, she changed my perspective. She changed my thought, my vantage point. She took me from one angle to another angle to see it in a manner that I could say, and stand and be proud. Yeah, I got cracks in this vessel of mine, but those cracks allow God's light to shine through, which makes me a beacon of light in my walk of life, right? And thank God for that. So tonight, I was going to say, allow me to be transparent with you, and that's the whole point. 7-11 is the beginning of all things, new things. Allow me to be open and transparent and speak about why I'm always sharing my light through social media and from multiple angles. And I like to say I'm a hectagon, 100-sided angle. So, you may see me over here, there, right? And so I'm always doing different things, but it never changes who I am. No matter what angle I'm on, my personality does not change. The energy about me does not change. I am stable and steady in my journey and walk of identity of me. You know what I'm saying? As I have learned it as a Jesus identity, thanks to Sister Wendy Clark, right? And so when one angle is not in correspondence with the mission at hand, I can navigate through my system to see things from a different perception. But sometimes we need assistance along the way. Is that you, Mama? Sometimes we need assistance along the way, like Miss Mary gave me assistance to understand being a cracked vessel and the value of a cracked vessel. You know what I'm saying? The value of something that has been broken. You know, the worth of something that has been broken, the cost of something that has been broken. You know what I'm saying? That it is the beauty in something that has been broken. You know, just all those great things, right? So astral perception is to see yourself. Hey, Mama. Astral perception is to see yourself like outside of your body, how God sees you. You know, how a power greater than we, who controls everything, can see this body and everything that's going on around it from a spiritual perspective, right? Your identity in Christ does not change. Hallelujah. You got it, sis. Yeah, thank you for confirming that right here. And so basically what I'm trying to say is the astral perspection can reflect the idea of divine signs in heaven. And heaven I see as it's a higher thinking. You know what I'm saying? We learn that there's this place that we go to, you know, but if we can be living hell, why can't we be living heaven? You know what I'm saying? And so that's all a perspective in the mind in which you can either choose to operate on your higher vibrations or your lower vibrations, your higher self or your lower self. And so that is heaven and hell from a different perspective, right? And so I have here Matthew 2:2. A question is asked by the Magi. These are the wise men. So in the NIV, it says, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." And this is symbolic of the moon and stars in Psalm 19:1, where it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of his hands." And so I like to use scripture to understand where God has got me on my journey, to understand what is my next move on this mission that I'm on, and questions about how things change, you know, and why things change. You know, sometimes things don't change in what we think is our favor, but later we'll soon learn that whatever it is God's plan, and we need to trust and believe in that rather than trying to adhere to the world, you know. So we are to be transformed in the mind by the renewal of the mind and not conformed by the world. So I'm going to split this up into different segments. So I'm going to just go where the Spirit is leading me to go and talking about me. But before I go there, I just want to say this is what we're listening to. I created that beat and put the words on it. And that was the first time I did a production for myself. The entire thing, music and lyrics from me. And so that was the project I was talking about this morning. So I will share that later as it is playing softly in the background, as to not disturb this message, but to keep me in alignment with the energy of the heart flow. Okay? All right. So I am El Christina. Well, first of all, if you know me personally, you know me as Christina, right? If you know me on social media, you know me as Akshita Veda. And so I put them both together on one of the pages, El Christina Akshita Veda, because that is the chosen name as my free person, right? Okay, my free persona, me, right? the living being. And so let's start with becoming a mother, because that's where all my energy, most of my energy goes, is being a mother. Okay, so I didn't intend on sharing it. Hey, Ty. I didn't intend on sharing. That's my sister, y'all. And so, thank you for showing up. So when I had been having miscarriages, and I had 3 miscarriages before I had a live birth, and Aisha being my first live birth. And so, I was getting down and depressed. 'Cause I was telling Aisha the other day, I was like, I call them my resurrection babies, because they brought me back to life. They gave me a reason to want to continue on, because everything that was happening in my life up until that point, and then continuously losing babies. Everybody's having babies, and I'm like, why can't I have a baby? You know what I'm saying? I want a baby. And so I had got real down and depressed on myself, and I was sleeping, and I woke up out of my sleep, and I heard the name Aisha, and I saw the spelling of the name Aisha, and it was so very strong, and I was like, Aishia. I woke up out of my sleep writing it in the sheets, because I didn't want to forget it. It was like my system wouldn't allow me. It's like I was being operated out, not me. It wasn't me, but I came into myself and began to wonder, what is this? So I went and looked it up. Aisha, Aishia. I found the meaning of the name, alive, she who lives. And I was like, I called my mama. I was like, Mama, I think I'm pregnant. And I told her the dream and all of that. I remember calling one of my aunties and telling her, Auntie Helen, and I bring Auntie Helen into it, because she was like, that God already gave you that child name, and you named that child something else. She said, I'm gonna be very upset with you. And so my mama would tell me all the time, God already showed you. Why is you questioning this thing? Get out of your fear. But I continue to have this fear that she wouldn't come, and this is one of the times. This ain't the first time. This is in this portion of my life that I'm sharing at the moment. This was a different connection and communication that I felt, which was stronger than ever. And for the name to mean alive, she lives, I just almost blew my mind, right? So when Aisha got here, she's very, very particular about her name. If you ask her what's her name, Aisha, and she is Aisha. And she never liked for anyone to say her name wrong or give her any nicknames. Like her friends used to call her Aishi when she was in preschool. And she was like, I don't like it. My name is Aisha. And so I'm like, she been this child since before I even heard her heartbeat, right? She has been who she is. And so that's why I know my child. And so Mariah passed beyond the time she was born. She came along, and at 8 months, Mariah had a seizure, and she seized over 30 minutes. And this was one of the most devastating, scariest moments I had ever experienced in my life, because I held her in my arms and foaming at the mouth and not knowing what to do. Their dad was driving, and we got to the hospital. They stuck my baby on her back, checking for meningitis twice, doing a spinal tap. And she ended up being in the hospital for 3 days. Them 3 days I never left. I didn't leave one day. And her face, she was all swollen and everything. And this was right after her MMR shots. She was running a fever. And the crazy thing is, before I found her seizing, I was running my bath water. I was finna go soak in the tub and chill, you know what I'm saying? She was sitting in her little chair. Aisha was in her room or moving around, you know what I'm saying? She was little at the time. And so something said, go check on the children before you go in the tub. And I was like, yeah, let me go check on you, like it's my idea. Yeah, let me go check on the kids. So I go in there and I see my baby seizing and foaming at the mouth. I was trying to get out of the fight, flight, and freeze state. You know what I'm saying? To do something. And so we made that happen. And so So Mariah's always had like some delays in her development. Walking, potty training, all these things were slow to come to her. While Aisha, on the other hand, she was so quick with everything, I didn't understand. You know, Aisha was putting in the password on the computer before she was 2 and going on the internet and searching up Sprout and Nickelodeon and all them other little kid apps and stuff that they go on and play games and learning games and stuff like that. She would go on and do those types of things before she was even 2 years old. But Mariah, on the other hand, was slow to pick up on things. And so Mariah didn't speak until she was 4. And so this is where God began to open my eyes again to the power within, right? So I remember I was going through my awakening, my spiritual awakening. I was in the Bible, reading from, trying to gain my own. I know the word says, lean not on your own understanding, but we must also gain understanding to understand that we are not leaning, that we're leaning on the understanding of the Holy Spirit to guide us through, right? So I'm reading the Bible to gain understanding so I can understand my authority and what I have within me, because we are made in the image of God, right? So if we're made in the image of God, that means that everything that book says is who I am, or what I can have and what I can do, in the right spirit with the right heart, right? Okay. So I woke up out of my sleep again, speaking in tongue, and I couldn't control it. It was just coming, and I was so, and I didn't even, when I say I couldn't control it, I literally could not control it. And so I felt led to pray over my entire home, every room, and to go pray for my children. And I prayed for Mariah, for her tongue to be loose and that she'd be able to speak. My mama could tell you. And she had just got diagnosed with mild to moderate hearing loss. I got the paperwork. It's it. And anything that I speak on, I have receipts, okay? So just know that part. I don't speak just to be speaking because it sounds good. I'm telling the truth about my life. This is my testimony, right? And so the next 30 days after that first diagnosis of mild to moderate hearing loss, after I prayed for her, Mariah began to speak. And when she went in for another test 30 days later, her hearing was perfect. Like she had never had any hearing loss at all. Like, where that diagnosis come from? Because she can hear just fine. And I had missed her doctor's appointment with the ears, eyes, nose, and throat doctor. I missed her appointment. She was supposed to go and talk about getting another set of tubes put in her ears, because she had already had tubes placed, but she used to pull on her ears all the time. And we never understood why she was pulling on her ears all the time. Is because she, now you hear muffled, that's how she was probably hearing. And so it was, she felt that as agitation. Nonetheless, My child started speaking and she ain't stopped talking yet. That child knows she can talk. Okay? That's why I don't hush her. I don't hush her because she hushed for 4 years and all she could do was cry and make noises. And I had to learn how to communicate with her without words and understand her language without words. So we don't always talk because Mariah's first language is nonverbal. Aisha, I had to say, Aisha, what is she saying? Aisha was the translator. So I wanted to share those 2 stories because these 2 girls I call my resurrection babies. And I call them my resurrection babies because they brought me back to life. Each time they gave me a reason to live, to not quit, to not give up. Hey, Stacy. And so they resurrected me back to life. And not saying that Aisha wasn't enough. I didn't want Aisha to grow up alone. I wanted her to, and I was tired of playing hide and go seek. Running around the house trying to pretend like I didn't know where she was, you know? And so she got her sister, and then so they're best of friends. We are best of friends. I miss you too. It's been so long, Stace. So yeah, Stacy and I served in the military together. We was in Germany and we served in Iraq together. So salute to you. Thank you for showing up with love and support. I appreciate that. And so yeah, it's always good to see my old battle buddies and stuff. You know, so long, yeah, because we got stories to tell. That stuff that we ain't never talked about, you know, and a lot of the things that I'm experiencing today and others, you know, have experienced and also experiencing has a lot to do with what we have been through. And we used to laugh we used to laugh. Yes, indeed. We always had fun. You weren't going to be working around me being lame. You going to laugh. Hey, you see pre-court? So, Dean. Calling out people names. So, yeah, we had fun. In the Army. We really did. You know what the Army brought to me? The Army showed me a different form of familial love. You know, we became family. None of us looked alike. None of us came from the same places. A lot of times we spoke different languages, you know, different cultures and all these different things. But when you're in the Army and you wear this uniform, that's what it's about. It has nothing to do where you come from. It's got everything to do with where we're going and what we're doing as a unit. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn how to trust one another. We had to learn how to depend upon one another when it came to completing tasks. You know, they would have us doing all kinds of stuff, you know, cleaning out connexes and unpacking and repacking and unpacking and repacking, counting things, and even though we didn't want to be there and do that, we always made it fun. You know what I'm saying? We always made, because in Germany we all lived in the barracks, or if we was married, like I was at the time, live off base, but I started out in the barracks with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So nonetheless, I enjoyed my time, and most of all, I enjoyed the people that I had the ability and the honor to serve with. How to tolerate each other for a whole year. I know that's right. I'm telling you. And the hardest part of that was the first 30 days in Kuwait. You know what I'm saying? Getting familiar with all that sand and the battle buddy system and all that, because we couldn't do nothing alone for safety reasons. You know, we had the battle buddy system. And so even if you had to use the latrine, the bathroom, or when we had to use the latrine and everything, we had to wake up the person that, or battle buddy, hey, I need a battle buddy to go use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? To go to the latrine. And so you have some people have to go to, but you know, that sometimes that's just an inconvenience. You just want to go use the bathroom. But for the purposes of our safety, that was the best thing to do. And so you get over it, and having to wear all the gear and all this. You know what? I wouldn't change it, and I'd do it again. I sure would. I would do it again. If I got to meet everybody over again, I'd do it again. And I keep thinking about April Travis right now. That was my buddy. We started out as roommates, and April passed away here this year, and it really shocked me, so much so, because I was talking to her. We were calling one another. And talking to one another. And she never told me that she had cancer. And I noticed she stopped answering my call. I went to Jackson, Mississippi to see her, and she denied seeing me. And that hurt me. My feelings was hurt. But you want to know something? I still talked to her, and I told her, you know, I get it and I understand, but I wish that I had known, you know what I'm saying, that she was sick during that time, because it was a few weeks, like a short while later, her sister found messages between us in her phone and was like, this must be a friend of hers. Let's make sure she knows. And and her sister called and told me, and she sent me her obituary. And when I pulled it out, I lost it. I couldn't even look at it. So please forgive me, 38 PSB, because I'm supposed to share the obituary, and I haven't, because I have not been able to look at it. And that might be unfair to everyone else, and I do apologize for that, and I will share it. But it was too much. I had just lost my niece, another friend, L. Michelle Bay, who was from Wilmington, North Carolina. She was the first stop in Fort Matriarch Boots on Ground tour. You know what I'm saying? I got my itinerary somewhere, but I created a Fort Matriarch Boots on Ground tour. Me and my daughters, we started from Mobile, Alabama, and we went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and we stayed in El Michelle Bay's home with her family. They had a family gathering and everything while we were there. They accepted us as family. They treated us like family. It was nothing different about any of that at all. And so I spoke to her. She had been on my heart, and I called her, and she answered the phone. She was in the hospital, and she shared with me that she had lung cancer, and she was gonna tough it out, because she was a tough cookie. You hear me? She was the legal eagle. And so that's who I would always call, and we would talk for, when I say hours, I mean 5-6 hours at a time, talking about law. All right, and we did this for 5-6 years, or longer than that. I know it was over 5 years. You know, between 5 and 7 years. We know about 5-6 years. And so anyway, yeah, that was my law buddy. That was who I studied law with. And so how to write codes and all kind of stuff. So yeah, she told me she hadn't in a couple weeks. I was trying to call her back, and she wasn't answering the phone. And then I found out Weeks later, I didn't even find out until weeks later, she passed away before my niece. And I didn't even know. She passed away on the 14th of October. So we just had a year anniversary of her passing or transcending. And soon on the 29th, it will be a year for my niece Nature. Sometimes I just can't believe she gone. I'm going to try not to get emotional. This past year, I lost more people close to me than I have ever experienced. And two were, and my auntie Beth Ann passed away in December. It was like boom, 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 boom. It was just happening. And I was like, okay, come on, what's going on? So it was just a lot happening a year, this past 12 months. And so on top of that, I received the second diagnosis of breast cancer, right? And when I was the one who found the lump. I discovered the lump. But El Michelle Bay and April Travis both passed from cancer. And then our previous former commander, Tony Pirelli, just lost his wife. That I hurt for him. Because remember how much he just wanted to be a husband back then? And when I saw that he had gotten married and had children and all that stuff, because I worked very closely with the first sergeant and the commander during that time. And so when I was an acting first sergeant, I was over the evaluations section. I was the supervisor for the IT soldier, Rebecca Thompson, and Harris. He was the mechanic, and I was a HR. I had to learn their job to even be their supervisor. And then half my tour, we was over there on danger. Stacy, you was in danger with me, right? And so Stacy was one of my troops that was stationed with me closely in danger. And then we moved from Fort Danger to Fort Spiker. I know, right? And so that would be nice for y'all, for the crew to come on and support and love, yeah. But yeah, so it was hold on. So yeah, I got a second diagnosis, Spiker and Summerall. Okay, I went to what's Summerall? Billy. Yeah, Billy Harris. So yeah, I was their supervisor as well. And then first sergeant went on leave. I was the acting first sergeant. And I was the lowest ranking E5 in the unit. So nobody understood how she get that. Yeah, because I had worked closely with the first sergeant commander. I knew how to do the presentations. I knew how to get the information, and I kept everything in order. And Captain Pirelli was like, yeah, because I know she gonna get it done. So not against anybody else. That's just what it was, right? So my NCOER would tell the whole story. So nonetheless, I felt the lump, and I had to decide to be strong enough to go in and say, hey, Are you feeling what I'm feeling? And the answer was yes. So I had the biopsy on the tumor that was felt by touch. And so then I went and did a scan, one of them CAT scans, MRI. And I laid on my stomach and they did a scan. And so what they could see from that angle was another tumor. And this tumor was embedded within scar tissue. So I couldn't feel it. And it could have possibly just been sitting there, you know, because that scar tissue had been there. And so the cancer, I had a double mess after my first diagnosis. I had I went on ahead and did the double mastectomy. First thing, I was like, you know what? That was another situation where I was like, do I hold on to try to keep my breast and then risk it coming back? And then look, I got them cut off and it still came back in the same exact location. So then now I'm in my mind after this second diagnosis and everything, I'm going all over the place. Just roll with me. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I could have kept my breast, but maybe it just wasn't for me to have them, because it doesn't change who I am, and it doesn't determine who I am. So I had to, when I first, okay, so I had that done, and then I had tissue expanders placed, which is the procedure to allow the skin to stretch to prepare for breast implants, right? Because that was the reconstructive surgery I elected to have. And so I got an infection. This is the first diagnosis. I had got an infection, and so they had to remove the tissue expander. So I told them just take both of them, right? And so I went flat for a year. And so after I finished chemotherapy and immunotherapy, chemo was 12 weeks. And I didn't lose my hair until week 8. I didn't get sick until week 12, like throwing up and feeling really bad. Like I had never felt like that until week 12. And I wasn't on no medication for nausea. I wasn't on no medication for diarrhea. None of those things. Everything was going, you know, pretty regular. I could handle that. And so this time around, so wait, let me go back. Tissue expanders removed, flat for a year, finished treatment. Then I was scheduled to go in for reconstructive surgery. So I had my implants placed. And so at first I didn't like them. I was really mad that I had chose to get them because I was comfortable. I was fine. And then after I got those implants in, my blood pressure went up. I started having inflammation all over my body. I was just in the hospital all the time. I mean, I was calling 911 so much. They already knew. They was like, yeah, because the last time it was, they was having conversations about the last time. Oh, I wasn't here that time. I was there the time before that. I mean, I was very familiar with Tucson Fire Department. Engine 8. Stop playing with me. They became my buddies. So, nonetheless, I got mad, and I regretted getting the implants in. Thank you, Mama. I regretted getting the implants in. And so I was like, I'm going to just go with it. I ain't going to trip, you know what I'm saying? But I was having issues with it, and my mind never said, hey, your body's rejecting these things. My mind never told me that. I never thought it. Until after the fact, until I started talking to other people in my breast cancer support group, or listening to other people tell their stories in my breast cancer support group. And that's when it dawned on me, maybe my body has been rejecting these things the whole time. And then the cancer came back. So now that I got this second diagnosis, now I got to get these implants removed. So now I've had a double mastectomy, and then I come to now I got the implants, and I began to feel comfortable with them. You know what I'm saying? I had become comfortable after I was not liking them. So it took me about a year to get comfortable with them. I had them a year and a half before I had them removed. And so now I'm back to flat again. And I'm like, I'm not going through that again. And so there was an option that was given, right? And that option was to have your belly fat transplanted into your as breast, right? But here's the deal with that. You have to remove a piece of the blood vessel from that area within your groin and thigh area to put up and reattach it into your chest wall area, so that the blood or the same tissue from that area can help support the tissue being removed from the belly to the breast. And then not only that, they don't even do that surgery here in Tucson. You got to go somewhere else to do that. I'm like, my mind was just all over the place. I was like, no, thank you. I don't want that. I don't want it. Look, I am fine. I ain't got to have no breasts. Because you know what? I feel better like this anyway. Let me tell you something. I done had all stages of breasts. I started out heavy chested. I got a breast reduction after I had Aisha. And then I had a double mastectomy. So I done had big titties, little titties, no titties. And guess what? It was my breast surgeon, Dr. Mason, when I had my tissue expanders removed prior to the implant reconstructive surgery. I was very depressed because I went from having breast to going through surgery and having the tissue expanders placed immediately after the surgery. And immediately after that first surgery, I had a hematoma. So they had to go back into surgery the next day to remove the blood. And so it's just everything. It's been so many issues dealing with. So I refuse to continue to go through those things for aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? For aesthetics. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with looking at myself. And he stood bedside and he told me, he said, you going to have to get used to this because this is your new body. This is your new form. You can't escape your form. You got to move around in this body. So the sooner you accept it, the better for you. And I was like, I needed to hear that. I didn't need, don't, you know how people talk to you like this and feel sorry for you, sympathy for you and all this stuff. I didn't need any of that. I needed just what he said. He was so very real and so very honest. And I appreciated that in that moment because that's exactly what I needed to hear. And so that was encouragement to me. So I began to start looking at myself in the mirror, and I had already done this before. So let me tell y'all about that. This is what I call mirror work. My daughters, my nieces, my nephews, and anybody that's ever dealt with me on a personal one-on-one basis, I will always send you to the mirror because that's where I started, in the mirror, right? And practicing on camera, recording myself. I'll go into that here shortly in a minute. I was at a family event, my dad's side, and my Uncle Ron We always do karaoke. Anytime we get together, you can just the karaoke machine, and the microphones is coming out. All right. So it is mandatory to have you a speaker with a microphone for karaoke. Stop playing. So he was like, I got a song for you, Chrissy, because my family called me Chrissy, right? Anybody close to me, you might hear them see them on my page or whatnot. They call me Chrissy. And so that is a family thing. And so he said, I got a song for you. He said, sing this. And so it was what is the song? Holding Back the Years. Red something. I can't think of his name at the moment. Holding back the years. Right? That song. And that song hit my spirit. Just listen to that song. I might have to share it. Just listen to, whatever. Listen to that song. I stood in the mirror for weeks straight, singing that song, looking at myself. This is back in 2017 or 2018. I was in Alabama, living in Sims, Alabama at the time. And I would sing that song and I would cry every single time. I sung that song in the mirror until I didn't cry no more. And that's when I knew I was ready. And then I did a live video recording myself. Oh, no, not a live video. I recorded myself singing that song. And I'm not sure if I gave a testimony. I'm going to have to find that video. That was one of the first recorded videos of myself that I shared. And here's the story about practicing on this camera. So I'm very shy. I don't like people looking at me. I don't like to be in front of large crowds. But I do. And it's harder to be in front of people when you're not comfortable with who you are, right? But if you are confident in who you are and comfortable with who you are, it's easy to stand in front of people because who are you? Why that I should be in fear of you looking at me? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway because God told me to do it. Really? Yes. I have gotten over that shyness. I have gotten over that fear of being in front of people because God has called me to be in front of people. And so what bigger audience is there than the World Wide Web? And so I began to practice. I would do recordings. Hey, Nicole. I would do recordings. I wasn't comfortable with live videos, but I would do recorded videos and share them because I had to look at myself and study myself and see what I could have did different. And 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, I should have did that live because that was good information. Somebody could have got involved with me on that. But see, now it's recorded and then get the responsive reactions later without the interaction. And so, yes, you have. Yeah, I've overcome a lot of, oh, mama, yes. Come on now. I got my mama in the room, y'all. Look, I'm going to tell y'all this story. You better say it. I would have never guessed that. You do it so naturally. It has taken me so much time and so much personal work, growth, and development to get to the point in which I have reached at this moment. And so I remember calling my mama one day, crying. I'm talking about I felt paralyzed. I could not get out the car to take my children to the playground. I'm laughing, but it ain't funny. This ain't no funny situation. I laugh now because I'm over that. But when I tell you I boo-hoo cried, Mama, I just can't take them. It's too many people. I didn't know that Hillsdale Park out there was having a friends and family day on the day that I want to take my daughters to my childhood playground, thinking that we just finna be out there just in the grass, you know, frolicking and stuff, having a good old time. I got out there and the park was full of people. Now, I'm gonna come back. I gotta give you a little history. When I came back from Iraq, mind you, I was in Germany for 4.5 years. And then I spent a year of that in Iraq. And then 90 days later, I was back in the States, stationed at Fort Jackson. And this is when Walmart was open 24 hours. And I would use those times to go to shop and do, like after midnight, I would go and shop and, you know, when there wasn't a lot of people out. I didn't like being on driving. It was like everybody was moving so fast. I was like having culture shock coming back here because the way of living here in the States is so much different than living overseas. Overseas, people are calm and happy. Over here, people are in a rush and mad. And I couldn't take it. I said one day I got all dressed up and I went to the mall. And this was before I had children, so it was only me. I went to the mall and I tried so hard to at least to walk the whole mall. You know what I'm saying? My objective was to see if I could handle myself around people because I was trying to break something that was holding me on the inside back from being forward in my life. And so I was at a new duty station. I was in my first marriage and that was falling apart and all of that. We was, you know, coming apart at that time. And I wanted children and I wasn't having any. You know, I was very much depressed. I was dealing with anxiety. It was so bad that I was applying for to be a recruiter. And when you are going to be a recruiter, you got to go through mental evaluations and all these different things. And I didn't pass the mental evaluation. They was like, you need to be on some medication. You need to be taking something. And it was that serious. It was so serious that before I had even got to Fort Jackson, they didn't even want to release me from OCONUS status, which is overseas. They didn't want to let me come back to the States. They wanted to keep me in the States. I am at peace with the here and the now is the I am message across the screen right now. So they wanted to keep me so they can continue to do evaluations on me because I was the second round of troops to go into Iraq. We were the second. We was OIF 2. So OIF 1 broke ground. OIF 2, we came in when, and our job was to continue the establishment of the fort setup, and I was a part of the personnel service battalion, and so we handled the paperwork and all those different, anything administrative and personnel was handled through my unit. And we also pitched in and helped pitch mail. You know what I'm saying? So we'll work all day, do PT, work all day, then go do mail, then go to bed, get up and do it all over again. And so nonetheless, I don't even know how I got there. How did I get there, y'all? Anyway, so many things have changed. So many things have changed. So yeah, I had an issue with social anxiety. Now, no doctor had ever said this is social anxiety that you're dealing with. Nobody had ever said that. No, but that's what. Okay, so we was the second troop, so it was pretty hard. So we drove. First, we landed in Kuwait, and we took a 3-day drive from Kuwait to Iraq. No roads, driving through the desert, and I don't know why I'm led to tell y'all this story, but this is one of the times that changed something inside of me during that time of my life. Now, I was the first sergeant's driver. So I'm the driver, first sergeant sitting in the passenger side, and Sergeant Richardson was the gunman, and he had a 50 cal on the roof. So the whole time, I didn't even think about the fact he's standing up the whole time, scanning with this big old heavy weaponry. Okay, thank you, Mama. The culture shock. Right, so I'm getting back to it. So we got stopped because, see, we had the sweepers would go before us, and the sweepers were checking for IEDs on the road and stuff like that, right? So if there was suspicion of any of that going on, they would stop the convoy and make sure it was clear. At this particular time, we had stopped, and it was a child walking up on the vehicle that I was driving. Now, mind you, we're in armored vehicles. I'm driving, but I got to have my M16 out the window the whole time I'm driving. 3 days of this. M16 out the window, driving, paying attention to the road. This little kid come with an MRE packet, talk about, Mister, feed me, I'm hungry, Mister. And I'm like, first arm, I'm finna shoot. Because I'm scared. Because what they would do is put bombs in these MRE packs, and they would sacrifice their loved ones to harm the troops coming through there. And I could see movement. We was like it was a residential area near where we had stopped. I seen movement. I'm like, first arm, I see movement. I'm talking about, I'm tripping. I'm like, first arm. First arm, look at this. First arm, are you watching? I'm like, Richardson, are you? I'm talking about, I'm tripping. I'm finna shoot this child. But I'm understanding the rules of engagement according to the Geneva Convention, right? The Geneva Convention. There's rules of engagement. And if you move outside of the rules of engagement, you will be penalized. Right? So you can't just be shooting just because you're scared and fearful. But none of us knew what. It's not that we didn't know what to do. What I'm saying is you don't want to move before a move is made. Because that is what you are supposed to do. You can't be the first to strike. You got to be struck at first. And it has to be imminent danger. Right? Not just fear. So, in this moment, I'm thinking I'm going to have to fire my weapon. And if I fire this weapon, my intentions is to take you out of here. And in this moment, I'm like, first arm, I'm going home. We going home. So if I got to shoot, you understand what's going on, right? That changed me. I would see mortars going over. We got hit with mortars every day. I done seen the different colors and everything. They hit a tree right there next to us. We getting on the truck to go eat chow. So, nonetheless, Eric. Who is Eric? Eric. Sergeant Richardson. Was that Eric his first? I don't think Eric is his first name. Richardson. What was it? Paul? I don't know what his first name was. Okay, so no one had ever told me I was dealing with social anxiety when I came back home and I couldn't take my daughters to the playground because it was too much going on. I mean, when I tell you, yeah, rockets and mortars, yeah, Ducksworth, Robert Ducksworth, First Sergeant Ducksworth, Robert Ducksworth. Richardson, I don't think his first name is Eric. I'm thinking it's Paul Richardson. You used to call Top Eric. Oh. No, why did I do that, Dusty? I do make up names for people. I still do it. It's this lady that walk up the street in Tucson. And I named this lady Roberta. Every time we see, I be like, "Hey, Roberta, what's up?" Or I call people Pawpaw, Mama, Grandma, Nana, Nana. You know, people be out, these old people be driving, and that keep me in the perspective to remain respectful when they drive in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I want to respect them as I would want my grandparents or my great aunties and uncles and aunties, stuff like that, my elders, you know, because he called you by your first name. Oh. He used to call me Sister Sergeant. He still call me Sister Sergeant to this day. He be like, "What's going on, Sister Sergeant?" So yeah, I've been this revolutionary. Now, remember while I was in Iraq, I cut all my hair off and I let my hair grow the whole year in Iraq. You said, if you don't do it, I can do it. If you gonna do it, I can do it too. Yep, sure did. I'm a mess. I've been a mess. Lord have mercy. But yeah, so I went through a period of being outgoing, the life of the party. At least I let me tell it. I'm gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have fun. If it ain't fun, I don't want nothing to do with it. Cause what for? And so so I would so I've overcome a lot. So I called my mama. And I'm like, "Mama, I just cannot get out this car. I did not know all these people was going to be here. Mariah back there in the seat crying, Aisha crying. They just want to get out and go play. They ain't thinking about none of these people." But see, it was those things that I was going through that ultimately rewired something in my children's mind, in their brains. You know what I'm saying? Where we are so and I'm trying to get around. We're working on it. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't expect change to take place overnight. But where we have come from to where we are today is a huge change, a big difference. My mama prayed with me on that phone and confirmed the strength in God to believe and to trust that I could do it, even with shaking bones. Get out the car and do it on purpose. And that was the day that pushed me. I called my mama, and my mama prayed me up out that car. Let me tell you about my mama and God. When we was on our way to Iraq, because I went to Iraq with my first husband. We both went deployed at the same time. I went before him, though. My mama hadn't heard from us, and she had called, and we wasn't able to talk. So, excuse me, she didn't get in touch with us, so she prayed. That night when she got home from work, there was 2 messages from me on her answering machine, answering all 3 questions. The first message answered the first 2 questions. And then I called back and was like, "Oh, yeah," and answered the 3rd question. And that's when that in a moment between me and my mother when she understood that God was in control when it came to me. You know what I'm saying? And so God is so good. Do you hear me? To go from being afraid to be around people, like going to church, singing in the choir. No, I would have never did that back then because I was too shaken by everything. I just recently, here in Tucson, was having issues with my anxiety and loud noise and music in a church. I couldn't take it. I had to get out. And so here where I'm at now, I don't feel any of that anxiety. I don't feel any of those things. But it is kind of, difficult trying to get involved with when things are already established and I'm a new person. You know, me and my daughters, we're new. And a lot of people come and go. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. I understand that. A lot of people come and don't commit themselves to anything. And I get that. So you just kind of, you don't want to impose on people's lives or whatever. But I am really trying to be involved with what's going on at the church that I'm attending because I know it's God that's got me there. We started out here in Tucson. Me and my daughters came here. We were what is considered to be homeless, right? We had only what we could carry on our backs and 2 cats, right? Nothing more. A backpack with our things and a bag with cats. And we went to Esperanza and Escalante through the VA on HUD Vash. And they helped me to get everything that I needed to reestablish myself to be rehoused, rehomed, right? And I was on the HUD Vash program, which is the VA equivalent to Section 8. I was on that program for a year and a half. I know it's close to 2 years. Anyway, nonetheless, I graduated out of that program, and God has worked it out for us to be comfortable where we are. We started out in 2 bedrooms. I was sleeping in the living room because I felt like it wasn't no need for me to have any privacy because my choices and decisions is what got us into this situation that we were in. So my daughters growing into their adolescent years and things like that require more privacy than I do, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because, you coming into yourself and, you just want to be able to close the door. You know what I'm saying? Me, on the other hand, I ain't got no privacy. So, they close me out, but I can still enter as I please. That wasn't a thing like that. But nonetheless, my bed was in the living room. And so I was like, I'm so tired of sleeping in the living room. I want to be able to have my own bedroom so I can have my own privacy because I deserve privacy. I have been going through cancer in the living room, in my bed in the living room. Every time my daughters will come out the room, they see me. So anyway, we've come a long way. So when we was over here on the northwest side, then we moved over to the south side, and I had been looking for Holmes Tuttle Boys and Girls Club, but when I found it, it wasn't open. And so I like going to food banks. Say what you want. I go to food banks. I love to go to food banks. I learned how to do food banks going through California. You know what I'm saying? These were my first journeys on the Fort Matriarch Boots on Ground tour, right? And learning how to establish myself because I was saying in the video earlier, You know, I didn't know what to do as a civilian. I didn't know how to obtain. I know nothing about no food stamps. I ain't know nothing about shopping for less. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea about how to live in a struggle, from a struggle position. You know what I'm saying? I ain't understand that. So I had to learn the hard way with children. And I was determined not if I fail, I was going to get up, dust myself up, and keep on going. You know what I'm saying? We done trekked across this continent and we done made a whole smiley face from Massachusetts all the way up to Redding, California, along the East Coast and the South, all the way up the West Coast. And so I found information about the food bank that they was having at Rising Star, and I went to the food bank, and I believe the first person that I ever met from that church at that time was, I believe her name, Denise, the lady that does sign ASL signing for the church. And she handed me the paper that was telling the service times, and I was like, you know what? We going to church. I feel led to go to this church. And so when I got there and I heard Pastor Lewis preach, and I was like, this is a man after God's own heart. He is preaching biblical scripture and making it practical and making it make sense. That's my kind of preaching. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna join. So the first visit, I joined. I joined the church on the first visit. I ain't need nothing else. Pastor Lewis was the confirmation, because everything that I learned from listening to him preach and his storytelling abilities to make it plain, to make it understandable, was just what I needed. You know, he's not overly religious, but it ain't got nothing to do with spirituality and the mind, the calling, the anointing, the appointing that in that position. So nonetheless, I have a lot of respect for Pastor Lewis. I have a lot of respect for his position, and I hated to see him go. I was really upset about it. I was hurt, but then I understood. And then I started looking back at the old sermons. I went back to January 5th, and the sermon he preached at that time was like the seed being planted. And in the 9th month, he was plucked up out of here to move back to Alabama. It was a labor and delivery process in the 9th month, right? And I was like, wow, that's deep. I don't even know if he realized that that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? I was so moved by the whole, but just from January to September, just listen to what Pastor, just go back and watch the sermons and listen to the message. And it was almost like he was setting it up without knowing what was being set up, because God was in control. So, you know, yeah, so I'm grateful to be a member of Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church and to be a part of the choir, you know. But like I saying, I know it's, you know, we here. You know what I'm saying? We're here. We're not gonna leave and, you know, talk bad about the people at the church because we mad. None of that. We are here for it all, because I see Rising Star as family, not just a church that I attend, not just something that I'm doing to check off a box to say I'm doing something. No, I am a member because I want to be a member, not because I have to be. I choose to be a member. Even during times I didn't feel accepted. And that's okay. That's okay. Because love was always there. It may not have come from everyone, but the love was still pressed upon us and given freely. I felt more welcome and accepted there than I have felt in a long time from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so I won't ever, forget that. I know why I am where I am. God got me there. And for whatever God's purpose is that's got me there, I shall not be moved. I'ma stand. Because I shall not be moved. Because God got me there. So I just wanted to come on tonight and share a piece of my testimony. I know I was kind of all over the place, and I know I need to watch it back so I can be like, oh, okay, it did flow or it didn't flow. I don't know. This is my life, all over the place, but it's mine, and I'm grateful to be able. I'm grateful to be just to be here. I'm just grateful just to be here, just to be in this experience, on this journey, continuing to move forward in love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just moving in love. I don't want nothing from nobody but love and respect. It flowed. Thank you, Stacy. Girl, I miss you. So, yeah. This is my story. And this is my song. I'm going to praise my Savior all the day long. Right? So, before we go, I want y'all to hear my work. I made the beat.
This is my testimony.
This is my meditative project.
Just breathe.
Thank you, Stacy.
Inhale together.
So yeah, Nicole, thank you. Tracy, thank you. Mama, thank you.
Awareness.
Stacy, Mama.
Wisdom and love.
Whoop. Taisha, my sister.
Testimony.
I love you all. Thank you for participating. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being interested to hear something and to learn something about me. I'm a willing participant in this journey, on this walk of life, on this path. I am a willing participant. And I'm here for the all. I'm not here for me. I'm here for the collective. I'm here to rise together. Together we will rise when we see our value in unity. The unity in community, right? Common unity. When we see that common unity, we can join and we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? Steadfast, but not too fast, because we do want to stop and smell the roses every now and then. Hey, Mom. My mom is here, y'all. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. God has been with you through it all. And you know this. Yes. God has been with me the whole way through.
Place where the old self burns, and the new one learns to dream.
Ain't no way I'll come this far without God. My mom right here was the one who had me in church,
Where everything I thought
singing in the choir, on the usher board. And Mom, do you remember the sermon? Remember they used to have the youth on youth Sunday? We went through a period where most of us came up and we did our own sermon and study of, whatever we did. And I don't remember my topic of discussion, but remember, I think I was 13 years old when I stood up on the pulpit and gave a message. And it was good. Like, I remember it was good. For a 13-year-old, go up there and do what I did. Yeah. I done sung in the, I did the the school chorus. I have led songs doing the Star Spangled Banner or Christmas songs for the school. Different things like that. I've been very much involved in this journey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to have been surrounded with the love that I was surrounded with, even if I didn't understand it at the time. You know what I'm saying? Even if I didn't understand, I understand now what I couldn't understand then. And I'm grateful. I thank you. I thank my mom. I thank my mama. I thank my dad. See, I was blessed to have two mothers. I am blessed to have two mothers that love me. And it would just do my heart justice for these two women to stand next to me in the same present moment. I thank God for you both. Yes, I do. Because if it had not been for choices and decisions that were made on both of your parts, what would I have missed out on? Pure love, and I thank you for it. Thank you both. Because you both sacrificed something for me. For me. One chose to have me, and the other chose to love me. Thank you. So, I'm going to end it there. This is my testimony. This is episode 7 of Together We Rise with Akshita. And I just want to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for hearing me out. This is a portion of the alchemy within me. The alchemy of transformation, the transformation of me. And what I bring is agape love and wisdom, right? What I bring is healing from within. Who I am is Akshita Veda, L. And the L is a representation of being a lawmaker.
My testimony.
I am the chosen daughter of the matriarch. And we could talk about that again and again and again and again, because the objective is for us women, men, children, family units to rise together as a collective whole in love. What I bring is empowerment in the middle. And through that empowerment in the middle is transformational life coaching with Akshita. Right? And so I'm so full of I'm full of I'm full of love, and it's been given to me to give. But what I realize is that I had got so comfortable taking care of everyone else that I forgot about myself. And now that's what I see this cancer. They call it cancer. But this cancer is the signal from within my body to tell me to pay attention to me, because I am worthy, because I am enough, because that's in God's plan. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody got to go through it to show the way through it. And as I go through it, I'm documenting everything. And I didn't talk about that part. So since I'm there, let's go there. Because I ain't ready to go all the way. Y'all might be ready, but they're just staying. Thank you for staying. So look. Woo! Why I show what I do on social media. I went through a process of healing. And I didn't share. I shared little bits and pieces, and I only shared clues because I know I know I was there, so I don't have to tell the story to me. I know, so I can look at pictures, I can look at old videos, and I can remember how and to tell those stories of the things that I have gone through. But I had developed a food allergy where I couldn't eat any fruits, any vegetables. I couldn't eat anything raw. And my lips would swell. I would get hives all over my body. My throat would close up. I had to carry an EpiPen with me. And when I got to the point after I come out my spiritual awakening, speaking in tongues, praying for my daughters, and Mariah talking and all these things, I began to research and study the Bible and other doctrine as far as Dr. Sabi's information and Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live. And this is where I began to heal myself, because I told you one of my names is Heal from Within. Everything I just said, agape, love, and wisdom, heal from within, empowerment, and Akshita Veda, all those names were given to me in spirit to let me know my assignment, the mission, and the purpose of my life is spelled out in everything that I do. So I didn't share that journey, and then I popped up and I done lost in 90 days. I lost over 80 pounds. I was 236 pounds plus, right? And once I began to fast and pray and study the word and learn how to eat, I lost over 80 pounds. And people didn't know what to think because they didn't see me going through it. I went through it in complete closure, and I'm like, why? I did not feel comfortable sharing, because like I said, I was still overcoming social anxiety. I was still trying to learn, because I was being led to come forward, but I was too afraid to be on the camera. And it was Mandela Khan Davis that grabbed hold of me from social media and walked me through this thing. He put me in front of people to speak where these people, groups of men who argue with women all the time, groups of men who despise women and talk bad and disrespected women, groups of men who just would act ugly towards a woman speaking. You understand what I'm saying? This real life. he would put me in front of these groups of men and they would yield to my voice. Oh, where's Akshita? We want to hear from Akshita. Bring Akshita on. They will be calling me, talking about something. You need to come on the show because they requested you. They want to hear from you. Come on. So this is how I started over on Blog Talk Radio on the phone. I didn't have to worry about being seen. But then it was time for me to start doing live presentations. And I got a video with me and Mandelicon, 2 videos as a matter of fact. And I was so nervous. I don't even like to watch them because I was so nervous. And it was like I wasn't really truly allowing the message to flow because I was too stuck in my fear. But he was an encourager. He empowered me and gave me that confidence of coming forward. And so, like I said, I would practice going on camera. And so I was going through all of that at the time that I was going through this fasting and praying. And I was just secluded at that time. And maybe that's where God wanted me to be. So I could do it again. Right? Not knowing at that time that I was battling something going on the inside that I had not yet recognized. The first time I felt the lump in my breast, it was already seemed like it was about this big. About that big right there. And I felt it in 2019. I was in one of my journeys in California, and I can remember specifically paying more attention to it at that time. And I was too afraid to think about it, let alone talk about it. So it wasn't until 2022 I was diagnosed. So I had all these years with this tumor in me. I was stage 2 when I was diagnosed, both times. And so, I know I have been called to come forward and to speak amongst the people, to the people. And that's what the matriarch is all about. It's not a dictatorship. It's not a rulership. It's a get in control of yourself ship. You know what I'm saying? Get out of the seat of judgment ship. Love thyself ship. Support mothers. Mothers supporting mothers. Becoming the village that it takes to raise a child. The one thing that I don't want to use the words that's coming to my mind, but the words coming to my mind is fear and worry, right? And we are not to worry or to have fear because we are not given the spirit of fear. But these things still come across my mind. What is going to happen to my children when I'm no longer here? I could walk out there. I'm not saying cancer is going to take me. Anything could happen. When it's your time, it is your time. So I have accepted death long time ago. I don't fear what that is because that's just me it's a transition to the other side, into the unseen. So the best thing I can do is prepare my daughters in the best way that I can to be comfortable within themselves, to identify with who they are and don't be conformed by this world, but to have a personal relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? But also I wanted to establish them in a community of love where they will be accepted. Even if you don't understand them. Even if you have questions, come talk to me. I feel that
and love.
I believe
I am
that I am approachable.
testimony.
I do believe
This is
to be a team player.
energy
You know what I'm saying?
mutation.
A team builder. So I know how to communicate, and I'm open to communication. So that's why I come forward all the time. But what you don't understand about us, just come and ask me, and I will tell you what you should know. Maybe not what you want to know all the time, but what you should know. And that's okay. Ask me. Don't ask my neighbor. Come to me.
Together.
Don't be afraid of what you see. You'll find I love you. Come to me.
So let's
Don't be afraid. All right? So look, I done went on long enough. I am a walking testimony of being the change that I want to see, to be the example, to lead by example in my walk of life, as an overcomer, as more than a conqueror, a thriver. Hey, Sis Reese. Greetings to you, sis. More than a conqueror, an overcomer of so many different things. And the objective for me is, if I can reach one person a day, I have done well. And so I lead with love, I walk with love, and I leave with love. And y'all have a wonderful night. I am so grateful. I love the presence of each person who has entered onto this video, even if it was just for a moment. Thank you. And y'all have a wonderful night, okay? And so I don't know how well you can hear the music, but yes, I created the beat and I came with the lyrics. So I am elevating into a new level of operation with my gifts, my talents, my skills, and my abilities. And not being afraid to operate in that capacity, because that is what I've been called to do. And life is no fun when you're fighting against the mission and the assignment. Just go for it and just do it. Just do it and do it again. Just do it and do it again. Y'all have a wonderful night. And this was episode 7 of Together We Rise with Akshita Veda. And tonight's topic is my testimony, because this is my story. This is my song. And I'm going to praise my Savior all the day long. All right? Y'all have a wonderful night. And I love you all. From my heart to yours.